Ngā mihi nui kia koutou. Nau mai, haere mai, nau mai, haere mai. Nō reira, tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou katoa. And I wish you'd come a bit further forward. Don't be frightened, there's nothing going to fly out of the front. Can you hear me at the back? And that's what matters, great. To John McRae, the chair, I said, of the Chamber of Commerce. Sometimes you're the president and sometimes the chair, but Tamir, tonight you are the chair. To Bryce, our MC tonight, thank you, and Bryce is also the acting CEO of the Chamber of Commerce. And can I just also acknowledge, Bryce, the contribution Alison made before you picked up the mantle, and please get our congratulations back to her. To all of the Rotorua Lakes councillors here tonight, the staff, the Te Tato Te Arawa board members, the Rural and Lakes Community Board members, the Bay of Plenty regional councillors, and I'm not sure if I've seen Doug, but he can't travel right across the motu as the chair. And lastly to the Chamber of Commerce members, thank you for coming tonight. This is our fifth BA5 held here in Rotorua. So I wasn't given much time, but there is a lot to be said. And I'm going to take you on a bit of a journey tonight. And I'm going to take you on a journey back from the brink. And I want you to remember the time in 2013 when a perfect storm was brewing after the global financial crisis. We could stand in Tutanaka Street and, dare I say it, fire a gun, and a few shopkeepers had poked their head out, not many pedestrians, and we were really a worried community at that time about how were we going to cope with the global financial crisis stress and how were we going to get growth together. We needed a huge seismic shift in our thinking. We weren't a Christchurch recovering from an earthquake saying we need a plan. We just needed a massive disruption in our thinking. We were also being told that we were a declining population. There was a report out at Waikato at that time that said, and listen to this, the population of Rotorua district is projected to grow very slightly from 68,590 in 2013 to 69,127 by 2033, and then decline to about 52,702 by 2063. It was a proposition of a zombie town that was well advancing, and we were determined that we were going to make a difference. We were a community that had a lack of belief in ourselves, we had a lack of investment coming in, and that population lack was a real worry to the incoming council. We're now dealing from that proposition in 2013 to issues and their challenges caused by growth that we never thought we'd face so early on, 5 years later. They're wicked challenges. They're like roading infrastructure. They're like climate change and the catastrophic events that as a community, a resilient community, we have to manage our way through. And they're like the sort of just the challenges that come with change. But I think they're quite exciting. We've now got a population of 72,500. So all the demographics have gone in the wrong direction as far as demographers and academics are concerned. And we're proving that when we have a Vision 2030 and we have a plan and then the Rotorua way, we can really make it happen. Now other mayors around New Zealand are saying, how did Rotorua Lakes Council do it? How did you do it? And some just sat back and enjoyed the growth as it washed over them. So we had that perfect storm that made us have to develop a plan, and we did it together, and we stuck resolutely to it. In spite of challenges, in spite of political naysayers, we've stuck to it, and we've stuck to the big picture. We also had to position ourselves for taking advantage, it's what it is, advantage of the population jam and the growth of Auckland. But we had to be ready with plans, with spatial plans and other tools of local council to say we're ready and we've got the infrastructure ready to manage the growth that's going to hit us. I do have to say too, just since the last election with that Provincial Growth Fund, we had to be ready for more partnership funding from the Crown, and it's congratulations to Jeff and your team for being so business case ready to grab every cent of money that we can that matches ratepayer money, and then we can do some wonderful things. But it was you, the business people. You had the confidence, you stayed with us, you walked beside us. You've now invested in new buildings, and also iconic businesses have refreshed themselves. And that's why we love these images that are running on the screen behind me. You really just got to look at it to see what has happened in terms of investment in the place that we love since 2013. And we've done it with the hook of key partnerships. And I don't think Te Tauru's here, but I know that Jeff is here and others. A wonderful partnership with Te Tata o Te Arawa. And can I mihi to you, you've stayed very staunch with us. You've helped us sort through the sticky problems because you have them in governance, especially a co-governance model, and we love you for that. We've had a great partnership with the Chamber of Commerce. We've had a partnership with the District Health Board, and we've also keen to work with others that are keen to partner with us. Can I say too that we've been bold? When you are bold with a plan, you make big decisions. So the East Side designation and lifting the Eastern Arterial and being able to get on with the planning of the Eastern Arterial route is a big decision. It was a bold decision and it was the right thing to do, and we're getting on with it. Another one is out of the forest. That's definitely a bold decision, aided and abetted by regional councillors that said you've got to get out of there. And you can see these issues have a community response which is hard for some to manage through, but we will manage through it because you ask yourself, have you got the right approach? Is it the right proposition that you're planning? Re-question it and then be staunch and carry on with your plan and investment. Some things for me personally I feel have been a little bit slower than I'd like them to be, so it's quite good to hear the good and bad. I wanted to be the Spa City of the future, and the Spa City, it's quite slow. So major investment propositions can take 5 years from the drawing board to reality, but well done to those partners investing in that spa and the lakefront. Can I say investment in sensitive infrastructure, such as sewage schemes, is grindingly slow? But if you do it right and you consult right, regardless of going to the Environment Court, your decision will be upheld. And that's the sort of leadership required when the going gets tough. The last year, a huge focus has been on our big moves. Very, very exciting. But before I get to the big moves, I want to assure you, or Brett would probably kill me, that we are very focused on the Sir Howard Morrison Performing Arts Centre. And would I say, if there are other partners in this room that say we could help you with investment to get that business case over the line, that would be hugely helpful. Can I also say to Lyle Thurston, my partner in crime with the museum, Lyle, it's fantastic to know the entire community is behind us here. That gives me great confidence when I go to the Prime Minister, who says, well, something has to be done, it must be done. We've just got to find that way. And thank you, Lyle, for working beside us to actually make that happen one day. So we haven't taken our eyes off those, but the big focus for us has been on certainly looking at the big moves. And I know you were so busy meeting one another, But the lakefront development plan and Whakariwariwa Forest, with 27 million investment in there from the Crown, is going to make us a destination second to none in New Zealand. And you have to be pretty smart to be business case ready. And we are smart because we've partnered in Whakariwariwa with iwi and with the operators down there, and we've come up with a plan that's second to none, and the same with the lakefront. So where are we going? Bryce said, have you got a big announcement? No, Bryce. It's incremental change, bold leadership, and having a plan. And don't swerve from the plan. But do ask yourselves, have we got it right? Always recheck, have we got it right? So where are we at? Well, there were results out last Friday that I think you should all be incredibly proud of. Our GDP growth is at 4.2%. It's higher than across the Bay of Plenty region, which has dipped to 3.5. So Rotorua is above Bay of Plenty. And for those of you in businesses that need to feel confident, that really says it all for us. The national average was 2.9%. So ours was 4.2. So well done. We've done that together. And that's an amazing attribute to you, the business community, and to leaders in our district. So I want to say, how do you feel? How do you feel at this time of year? Nothing sums it up better than for me than when I trotted around with the Duke and Duchess. It was amazing to take them down to Tamatakapua, our lead marae, and see Te Arawa glisten down there. Then amazing to come here and do the walk through and see people that came from all over New Zealand. But nobody had a bad word. Everybody stood aside and let someone through, a little child or an elderly person, and they were kind to one another. And then we put them in the car and then off to our beautiful forest. And I think how, I was going to call him Harry, the Duke summed it up when he walked out with the Duchess and he said, "This is heaven." Really does sum up where we're going as a district together. Have a wonderful Christmas in this heavenly part of the world. Nō reira, tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou.
Thank you, Steve. She says in one breath she got no big announcements, and says in the very next breath that we're growing faster than the rest of the Bay of Plenty, so that was reasonably big, because I can't remember a time in my rather long life when that was the case. So keep up the good work, guys. I'd now like to call on President John to come and talk on behalf of the Chamber and the Bishops.
Tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou, katoa. I'm not sure about President John thing, it's a bit like Donald Trump, isn't it? So we'll just think about that one for a little bit. So welcome fellow members, and of course I always hate following Stevie with her presentations. She's always so well polished and presented, and I'm just scribbling my notes as she's talking, so this is going to be a little more informal from me. What I'd like you to do though is all take 5 steps forward, please. Can you manage that? Come on, you can do it, you can do it, you can do it. Awesome. It's not one. Because in a while I am going to use you as a focus group, so this is, I'm going to put you to work. There's no such thing as a free drink. Earlier today I actually went to a higher authority and I said, how are we performing? How are we going today? And as you would have heard, there was a lot of clapping. So that was the beginning of a thanks, you guys are doing well. One of the things I want to just touch on, and Steve's given a really good introduction, is the growth debate. There's obviously a lot of talk about whether we should, how we should grow. And in fact, I'll share a little story. I was in a car going up on a ski trip with a mate of mine. And he said, oh, how's the chamber going? And actually, what do you guys do? I said, what do you mean, what do we do? Do you not read? I actually say, oh, you're an idiot, but just like that. So I said, look, the chamber's here to support and promote commercial growth. And It's about the growth of us as business owners, the support to us as business owners. And he said, well, why would you even want to do that? You look at Auckland, look at Tauranga. They're not great places to live anymore because they've had significant growth. And there were two thoughts that came to mind, which I was pretty impressed that I had two. And one of them was first that, 25, all of us have lived here a while now. Now, 25 years, we had zero growth, absolute stagnation, no cash. And this meant that our assets, when you look around town, you look at our hotels, motels, I'm not going to pick on any, city centre, there's a lot of assets that need a significant amount of investment. So that's the first thing. Stagnation is obviously going backwards. A second thought, the growth of Auckland, Tauranga and even Hamilton is a growth wave that's coming upon us. And when you talk to people have figured out that Rotorua is actually a really cool place to work and a really cool place to live. And that's why we're all here. So, for me, the debate on whether we support growth or not is a bit of a nonsense debate. We are growing, evidence given. We will continue to grow, so we need to grow up and actually put our minds to ensuring the growth we have is managed in a manner that creates an increase in well-being for all of us here and for those to come. Now, as I said before, I'm a private sector guy, so I'm going to put you guys to work. You're a large focus group, so I want to make sure we use your brains. So the first thing I'm going to do is ask you guys, who invested in growth of their business this year? Hands up. Bit higher, so I can see. Yeah. Good. Who increased their team size, number of employees? Me too. I should be putting my own hand up here as well. That to me is a large majority. I'll take that. So what I want to do is I want to test this next statement that I'm going to read to you, and I'll read it twice so everyone gets an opportunity to hear it. A growing economy creates opportunity for all. Growth has made Rotorua a great place to work and play. The city is experiencing strong growth. The growth is creating an environment that encourages investment into talent and assets. The outcome of our growing economy is a lift in our well-being and our standard of living for the people in our rohi. Now, do I need to say again, or you got it? All good? So, what I'm going to ask you to do is, those who support that view, could you step forward to spaces? Awesome. So those ones in the back, we can just cast them off and put them out of the room, can we?
Can you move forward with it 2 steps?
Both the back.
Look, the reason I ask that is because I'm actually trying to gain and understand the support that we as a board would have when we're going out into the community and driving hard for growth. Now, sat in a session just before I came into this one, which was about the great projects. I've got to say I get a little bit frustrated. No, frustrated, it's not the right word. I get actually angry when you see articles in the paper that come through that are actually saying you can't do this, you can't do these growth projects, you shouldn't be investing into the lakefront, you shouldn't be investing into the forest. That, for me as a business owner, is limited thinking at best. So it does frustrate me. That's why I'm looking for your support, and our board are looking for your support to get behind us as the chamber, to start actually making some serious commentary and start making some strong statements about our support for the 2030 vision, and have a strong statement and a strong position that's a support of these great ventures, lakefront, local forest, make sure that they happen. The frustration for me is that they're not happening fast enough, but let's work with that. But we as a community, a business community, need to be very clear in our messaging that we support this growth and we want more of it to happen. So that's one little thing. Lastly, I'd just like to say on behalf of the board, members' support, thank you very much. We look for some exciting progress in the new year, and I wish you all a Merry Christmas. Nō reira, tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou, katoa.
He keeps on making speeches like that, and keep on calling him President John, whether he likes it or not. There is one more formality tonight, and that is the lucky draw that Bill Christensen always wins. So tonight, Bill, you're going to take your card out before we draw it. Courtesy of Rotorua Lakes Council, would you like to come forward, please, Stevie, and do the draw for us? Joss has got the... We've got 3 draws here.
Oh yes, morning tea with the mayor.
Morning tea with the mayor.
I did meet 2 schoolgirl entrepreneurs yesterday, and that was very inspiring. So I hope, great, Anne Ludgate, lovely tea. It's a nice one too. The nursery voucher, and this goes to the heat. Norm. Our favourite DJ.
Yeah.
He's always too easy on me when I go down there, Norm. And another nursery voucher, Yasmin Basil, our Youth Hub Navigator. Thank you, everybody.
That concludes the proceedings. Kia aloha, ki te tangata, goodwill to all people, Merry Christmas.
Kia ora.